Hey, how's it going? So if you'll recall, yesterday I was a little bit frustrated because text-to-speech wasn't generating single word French prompts and text-to-speech appropriately. Apparently it was mistaking them for another language. That's my best guess. I don't know. I didn't write the tool. It's very frustrating that I can't specify which language I want. So what I did was I created an IAM user on AWS, and I gave it an access key, and I verified that I can use AWS Poly to generate French speech, which actually sounds like French, and English speech, which, let's be fair, that usually works correctly with text-to-speech. But I can specify the actual languages, and it actually works. So that is a step in the right direction. So let's... yes, I did have some help writing it. I don't need you. I don't need you. Okay, so here's where we were. We wanted to convert this song into a lesson. So first I want to know if there's any spellings that have multiple mappings of parts of speech. So we'll say D equals empty dictionary. Okay. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Position, part of speech. I just want to look at the individual parts of speech. Right? Is this right? I forgot what my own code does. Jamais adverb. Okay, yeah. So we'll say W raw. And we'll just say W equals W raw dot lower. Make sure that we don't have a casing issue, and then assert W not in D, or D of W equals part of speech. If W not in D, that's probably redundant, but whatever. D of W equals part of speech. Now, we'll see if anywhere, crap. Okay. D of W and part of speech. Let's see what it says. Auxiliary and verb. Okay, well, that's probably okay for educational purposes, but let's actually look at what it is. Alright, it was. You know what? That is fair. That is two different parts of speech. So let's take a look here. I don't think that's a problem. But I just want to see them enumerated. So okay, so in every case, auxiliary and verb, they are the same. So we are just going to call those verbs for our purposes, and we'll say that's good enough. What that means is that if we encounter a unique spelling, the student already knows the word, which is useful and beneficial for our purposes. Now, that is not always the case. For example, the words dove and dove are spelled the same, but if you taught a student the word dove, it would not be reasonable to assume that they know the word dove just because they're spelled the same. But I think in this case we have ruled that out. So here we go. We just need the sentences. Print sentences, I guess. I don't know. Jamais plus je ne te dirai. Alright, cool. Come back here. And we want to generate the full sentences. First, let's go through. Okay. I think Claude is best at the at generating prompts. So let's get this here. These are the sentences that we want. Save as sentences. Sentences. Save. Okay. All right. I have a list of French sentences in, what am I trying to say? In Python. List of strings. I want to pass them to an LLM and have it break it into understandable, incremental parts for the purpose of language acquisition at lower levels and English speaker learning French. So, for example, j'ai, I don't know. Je suis malade. Okay. It would probably not be reasonable to teach the word suis without je. So I want a return like this. Je suis, I am malade. Oh my God. Malade. Sick or ill. Alright, and then the full thing. Je suis malade, I am sick. Je suis malade, I am sick. This builds up without introducing words that don't make sense, devoid of context. Yeah, so we returned it as properly formatted JSON. Okay. Context. So, write an LLM prompt which takes a French sentence and generates JSON of incremental, I don't know, English explanation to build and understand the sentence. Generates JSON when passed to an LLM. Okay. Claude seems to be the best at generating these unique. Okay. Happy to help you create an LLM prompt for generating incremental French-English translations for language learning. This is a great approach for building comprehension while maintaining context. Now, what we can do is there will be duplicate words, and we don't need to repeat them multiple times. So generate incremental translations. Format example. Do not include any explanation, commentary, or text outside of the JSON array. Formatted prompt. Call your LLM. Okay, this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So let's see what this does. Cloud Writing Help. I don't really care which LLM does it. I just want these converted into a usable format. Continue. No, I don't want to do 4.0 mini. We'll probably go with a 3.7 Sonnet. I think it's the best compromise. For price and accuracy. 4.0 could work, but I don't want to use Haiku either for the same reason. Mini is great if you have a very, very simple thing. Alright. I don't think we need all this crap. Okay, here we go. So, how did you say? Yeah, I think we can get rid of this. Generate incremental translations. Let's try it first. I'll just have a really informal output thing. Let's put it down here. Like that to keep it from echoing on the screen. Let's see how this works. All right. Output equals generate incremental translations. French sentence. I think we can cut this safely. And here we go. Well, no, here we don't go. Yeah. Formatted prompt. I don't want it to return the prompt. I want it to return the response. So response equals llm.ask formatted prompt. All right, French sentence. Okay, where do I pass? What in the hell? Don't do it like that. That is like some serious Python 2 shit. All right. Let's see what it says. Jamais plus je ne te dirai. I'm actually curious what it's going to say and if it's going to work. Okay. Jamais plus, je ne te dirai, je ne te dirai, jamais plus je ne te dirai. Now this is getting somewhere. So for S in boom, and then we'll say print, not prompt, print done. Okay. All right, and we already removed the duplicates, so okay, and it should print out as it generates here. And then what I need to do is I need to go through and I need to remove duplicates of these lines, which should not be particularly difficult. Peut-être pas trop mauvais, pas trop mauvais, peut-être pas trop mauvais. All right. I mean, this is what LLMs should be good at, because they are experts at language, not necessarily at original thought. There's a lot of things they're not good at, but language, they got that down. Nah. I probably wouldn't have explained it like that, but whatever. All right. Tu n'as plus. Ok. Je sais. He got lost. He has returned. He has gone very far. Il est parti très loin. I should have done multiple threads, but whatever. I always say that. I always, as soon as it gets started, you know. None of these have failed yet, so seems to be generating correct every time. All right. Okay. So let's boom 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 boom. All right. Salut, c'est encore moi. Salut, c'est moi. All right. Now we need to go through this and remove the duplicates. All right. Here, let's comment this out so we don't accidentally run it again. I have done that, and you know, when you have to pay, that's not great. Okay, I don't think we need a that. So dot replace with just that. Okay, for I in output out put dot split. Boom, like that. I gotta get these sentences out of here. We're going to say scene equals set, and then I dot I split equals I dot split on that character. Print I underscore S. Okay, let's run and see what we got. Okay, so 0, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Assert is length of is equals 4, and assert I underscore s of 0 of -1 equals closing thingy and -1. Did I say closing thingy? I meant opening thingy. Alright. Alright. And then really all that we want is 1 and 3, right? Let's see. Well, that's unfortunate. Length of is equals 4. So is it the very first one that's incorrect? Okay. If not, I dot strip, then continue. Okay, peut-être maybe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I of SP is not defined. It's weird how it's reporting the wrong line there. Okay. Yeah, that's explicitly what I did not want. Yeah, we need to go through these. All right. Pas trop mauvais, peut-être pas trop mauvais. Je suis, ne que, only just, un souvenir. Tu as, na, tu n'as. This one doesn't really make sense. Mais. Okay, well, that's fine. I don't think so. Amadio. To say to me. I think that makes sense. Some of these are getting just a little bit crazy. Daisy de folle. Okay. Okay, we already introduced I, right? So I was. Daisy de folle, mais j'étais fou. Okay. Sur toi, sur moi, nous, sur nous, on you, on me, on us. All right. All right, I think that this is pretty good. Okay. Yeah, now we're going to say key equals, well, let's just do it like this. Well, actually, let's do it like this. Dot lower. Dot lower. If key in scene, then print key, because I'm actually kind of curious. And continue. Otherwise, scene.add key. Get rid of this. I want to know what duplicates we are going to be eliminating. Okay, that's in line with what I would expect. All right, we do not need this anymore. Okay. Okay, this looks pretty good. I think that we should have several repetitions with these words before we move on to the sentence. So let's is it clear which is which? I don't really think it is. But there's only 11 lines of the song, so is it just ones with a period? Period, 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 period. All right. If period in I underscore S3 or question mark in I underscore S3 or exclamation point in I underscore S3, then. So these are the sentences then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18. Okay, I think that before every sentence is administered, we need to make sure that every word has been administered at least twice. Does that sound good? Yeah. So we are going to split these into, yeah, we're going to say words equals meh, and then sentences equals meh, like that. And then sentences will refer back to a certain word boundary. So it's like you have to be at this word index in order to proceed with this sentence. So if there is a period, if period, then we are going to say sentences dot append like this, and it will be length of words, comma, and then obviously, what was it? One and three. Yeah. Otherwise, words, I mean, it's basically the same thing. Words dot append. And this is just going to be the index here. So like that. Print sentences. print words. Peut-être pas trop mauvais. And so they're saying that here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to have, I mean, not mastered, that's a pretty strong word, but I should probably do it 3 times. I think that that makes sense. All right. Am I making a mistake? Am I making a mistake not putting the numbers in here? All right. I don't think so. So we should be able to define a repetition interval pretty easily. I'm going to say sentences equals that, and then words equals that. What just happened? That worked. Okay. Now we need all of the words to be in date. We need to implement a repetition interval. So how are we going to do that? Words enter the circulation. You know what? I actually think that we should have the numbers here on the words, because then we can put them into a bucket and not have to refer to them separately. So we'll go like that. Oh my God. Okay, so while words or sentences, right? Now we're going to generate lessons. Okay. Create some Pimsleur style introductions for words and phrases. Like, here is how you say, listen and repeat, or introduction, and how did you say, for review. I want a few choices for each. I want multiple choices for each. Create some Pimsleur style introductions for words and phrases. Alright, here's how you say. Now you'll learn how to say. Listen carefully. Alright. Review phrases. Excellent. Now let's practice using. Okay, I probably don't need this. Okay. Let's see here. Language with French. Place all. Alright, here is how you say blank in French. Listen and repeat. Now you'll learn how to say blank. Listen carefully and then repeat. The French word for blank is... Let's learn the French expression for... I don't like word. Pay attention to how blank is pronounced in French. Listen, then repeat it yourself. Now you introduce the term for blank. That's how you say blank in French. The following, I don't want to say word. How did you say blank in French? Can you remember how to say blank in French? Try and recall the French word for, now without assistance, how would you say blank in French? Let's review. What was the French expression for, let's see if you remember, how do you say blank? Think back to what you learned earlier. How would you pronounce it? How would you say? It's time to practice what you've learned. How would you, okay. H. Let me replace it with just a single. If there are two anywhere. There are not, so. All right. So we're going to cycle through the review phrases. And then hopefully that'll keep it from being too repetitive. I noticed that when I was building it before, is that it just really seemed repetitive. So let's see. So we're going to call this introductions equals and obviously boom, 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 boom. Okay, and then these are reviews. All right. Boom, 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 boom. And we'll say for I in introductions, assert I dot count underscore equals exactly 1. And then in reviews, let's see what that does. Not ideal. Not ideal. What is going on? The French for Okay. Hey, that's why I check it. That is why I check it. All right. Okay. Peut-être pas trop mauvais. All right. So we're going to say wow words or sentences. I don't like that. Because there's going to be multiple buckets. There's going to be review bucket, words, so do we want to treat sentences as though they were words for the purpose of, no, I don't think we do. I think that that's stupid. I think that that's absolutely dumb and nonsensical. Why did I do it like this? Well, we can just give the sentences an arbitrarily high number and then it wouldn't matter. Okay, no, that works. So, review bucket equals like that. I guess we'll just go in order. Yeah, I don't see any reason not to. So we're going to have to remember the level. Oh, how's that going to work? I don't know how that's going to work. Well, we're going to have to take it out and figure it out. Aren't we? All right. So, wow, review bucket or, okay, new words equals words dot copy, and then new sentences equals sentences dot copy, because we are going to destructively consume these. Okay, well, review bucket or new words or new sentences. I kind of like intuitively understand what I want to do, but I'm having trouble thinking about a specific implementation. So I want to introduce a term, introduce another term, review the first term, review the second term, introduce a third term. I don't think I can get away from having individual levels. I think that I have to track the levels. All right. The only thing that makes this weird is this binding to this. Other than that, it's pretty standard review stuff. I've done this before. All right. I don't feel like coding this right now. All right. Okay. Look at the following incomplete code. Write a lesson generator which follows the following algorithm. All right, 1. Okay, every step has a, what am I trying to say? Every step has an increasing index. Step 0, 1, 2, etc. When a word is first introduced, it will be introduced on a step. It will then be scheduled for review on that step plus 2, and then on whatever step that was plus 3. So we're going further and further. Note that if multiple words are out of date, they may not be administered on the expected time. This is okay. Okay. Sentences should enter the word pool, or should enter the review pool, similar to words, but only after all dependent words indicated by the index are at least administered twice. Note that this may mean introducing more words in order to balance the lesson. Okay, eventually, near the end of the lesson, we may be forced to inject extra words if there aren't enough spaces left. That makes sense. Sentences. Sentences should only be reviewed 3 times. Okay, so in the end, the number of total administrations with repetitions, repetitions should be number of words plus number of sentences times 3 plus any filler extra repetitions required to fill the space. These should be oldest heard or tested words or phrases. Okay. Items need to be marked as either initial introduction or review. They are initial introduction the first time they are administered, and review every subsequent time. Okay. Return a data structure with the numerical indicators of the sentence and words removed, but a new field indicating a list, an ordered list, numerical indicators of the sentence or words removed, but a new field indicating whether it is review or what? Introduction. Okay. I could have done this, but it's freaking late. It's practically midnight. Okay, generate lesson. Okay, sentences to administer. The dependency check for sentences is simplified and needs more detailed. We need to handle the case when there are no eligible sentences better. Let me create a more robust implementation. Okay, I'll take it. All right. Okay, let's see what this does. Okay. See, that was quite long. I knew that I didn't want to do that right now. Okay, execute lesson generator. Print the lesson for review. But what is populating the lesson generator? Available words equals words.copy. Okay, that works. Let's see what it does. Step. Why are the step numbers repeating? Okay. Is this a problem? It's not exactly what I meant, but... okay, 108. Salut, c'est encore moi. Yeah, right at the very end, it is definitely... Hi, how are you? Hi, it's me. You know what? I think that I can fix that. So let us... okay, step, status, type, content, and translation. So is intro equals intro in item type, like that. And then we will say content, not context. Oh my god. Content like this, and then translation English equals like that, and we'll say French like that. Okay, and let's print is intro French English. Boom. That's a silly mistake. So false. Sentence. Step, content, translation is introduction. Oh, I thought that was the first one. I'm like, that ain't gonna work. Okay, peut-être, maybe, pas, trop, je suis. Okay. So, yeah, let's do this. Claude writing help. So, introduction. All right. My lesson equals list like this. And then my lesson dot append so this is all that we really needed here. Print my lesson. Oh look, it let me select everything without. Oh man, reconnect. So we want to take these prompts and put them into here. So, and I think that we can go I don't think we need that extra repetition right at the very end. Oh, this is painful. Oh, this is painful. I'm in pain. I'm hurting. Okay. Yeah. Salut, comment ça va? I think at this point it's just sort of needless repetition. Right? Okay. I know it'll compile with that, but it's just seems best to clean it up. Mind-numbing. There's got to be a better way to do this. How long is this line? I mean, I keep thinking it's about to be over, right? Maybe not. I didn't think the lesson was that long. Okay. So, peut-être appears 3 times, right? Okay, let's go through the lesson here. And we'll do a C equals counter like that, and then for intro, comma, French, comma, English in lesson C of French plus equals 1, and then for, let's do French dot lower. Maybe we'll do for K, comma, CNT in C dot items print K comma CNT, and let's see what it says. Counter is not defined. Okay, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, these are 1. That's fine. Daisy Day 6 for some reason. Okay, I'm just interested if CNT doesn't equal 3. Trop Daisy Day. We did remove the duplicates, right? I seem to distinctly remember doing that. Well, you know what? Let's, maybe the translation wasn't identical. Yeah. Now, if French dot lower in maybe we do need to get rid of these. Then print French English. The idea is not to confuse some ideas. 222. 2 of or about. All right. All right. All right, okay, I think we need to go through and we need to change these. It's as simple as that. So, some ideas. We're going to make a filtered list. So, filtered list equals yeah, ijk for ijk in lesson. Okay. If k doesn't equal, so print length lesson and then print length filtered list. Right? And it's down by 3. But our explanation is gone. Okay. Do we need, what was it? 224, I guess. You found 1,000 matches. Oh, it's just finding all of them. Okay, apparently it ignores accents. Of or about. Yeah. So is that what it is? Ah, les temps. About. I just think we can get rid of these. These aren't wrong. We don't need to confuse the poor student. Wasn't there one last? Assumptions. No, we got rid of that one. Would it make more sense to just delete it up here? Probably, but I don't remember what the last one was. C equals counter of J for I, J, K in lesson. Yeah. For K comma V in C dot items, if V equals 3, print K. This is all because I can't remember what it was. No, not 3, 6. Oh. 2, too much. All right. There we go. That looks beautiful. So that was way hard. Oh my God, this is stupid. Let's just finish cleaning it up instead of doing the filter operation. Some ideas. There we go. Everything's good. Okay, so reviews and introductions. So we will have an introduction counter equals 0 and a review counter equals 0. Then we will say for intro French English in lesson okay. How did you say blank in French? So all of these are English. So if intro, then text equals introductions, comma, IC mod length introductions. And then IC plus equals 1. Else it's exactly the same concept, but we're just using different text here. So reviews, and then review counter plus equals 1. And then the English goes in there. Text equals text dot replace with English. And then obviously the French is just the French, and we're going to, leave it alone so that the student can hopefully hear the text without any additional, garbage. So very simple, just print text, print French, and that's it, right? So this would be our lesson then. Here is how you say maybe in French. Listen and repeat. Peut-être. Now you'll learn how to say not. Listen carefully, then repeat. Pas. Let's learn the French expression for two. Listen and then say it. Trop. Pay attention to how bad is pronounced in French. Let's do it this way. Actually, let's invert that. Far from home, I thought about you. Loin de la maison, j'ai pensé à toi. Okay. This is starting to look like an actual lesson. Try to recall the French word for hi, it's me. Salut, c'est moi. Okay. So, we have to figure out what the pausing scheme is going to be. Okay, so it's going to be pause 1 and then pause 3. And we'll see how that works for sentences. Okay. So we need to generate these. And then we need to glue them together. I don't know how long this is going to take. Okay. Okay, here's my code. Here is my lesson. It's going to be okay, let's do this. Gemini's been not been getting any love here. Look at my code for generating French and English text. Now look at my code for generating a text lesson. Okay, and then we need to come back here. How many things are in lesson? Seems like it should be quite a few. What was it, like 104? I guess that's not really that many. All right. Okay. Okay. I would like to generate an audio lesson by using my code for AWS Poly. It will need to have English prompt followed by 1.5 second delay, then French prompt followed by a 3-second delay while the student responds. How many characters? 3-second delay plus 100 milliseconds for each letter in the French. So, in other words, longer French sentences have longer delays. And let's see what the longest one is. I want to make sure that we're not doing something crazy here. This is just sort of off the cuff. Let's see. So max length equals 0. Max length is really awkward to type that. 35. 3,500. Okay, where's my Gemini? Yeah, followed by 2-second delay plus 100 milliseconds for each letter in the French. So what would that be? An 8-letter word would just say 9. Well, what difference does that make? 10-letter word would be a 3-second delay. Whatever. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right. The generated MP3s should be glued together. Since AWS Poly is an expensive operation, I do not want to regenerate the same French or English that I have generated before. So please use a hashing scheme for file naming to detect identical French and English strings. Note that identical French is not swappable with identical English, so the hash needs to include which language it was. All right, let's see what it does with this. Generated MP3 should be glued together. Since AWS Poly is an expensive operation, I do not want it. Okay, let's integrate your AWS Poly speech generation code with the lesson structure logic. Okay. Gen audio cache. Delay after English. Per character delay after French milliseconds. AWS Poly speech generation slightly modified for integration. That's fine. Get or generate audio segment. Exactly what I wanted. Create audio lesson. Sweet. Okay. Okay. Oh, look, it even inferred the lesson structure. Nice. Introductions and reviews. Of course, I will want to replace those. Okay. All right. How do I copy this? Where's copy? I want my copy button. Okay. AWS Poly, generate text, generate TTS. Okay, lesson, introduction, and reviews. I wonder if this will work. Starting lesson generation for 386 items. Okay, let's go over here. This is not where it's putting them. Where is it putting the output? Not not here. I need to know where the output is going. Content drive, my drive. Gen audio cache. Is that? Ah, sweet. Oh, God, this looks beautiful.
Let's review. What was the French expression for not to?
Not to.
Now, without assistance, how would you say bad in French?
Mauvais.
Try to recall the French word for to.
Okay. I think it's a little clumsy. This is not a pay program, but I think that this could get you to understanding the song, and that is the end goal. So, if this generates, I will upload the file, and I will link the song. And I don't know, if it works for you, then let me know. So let's see what the progress is. This is the song. Oh, no. This is me talking about trying to make a lesson to understand the song. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I misunderstood. Okay, clearly this is going to take a while, so let me pause the recording and then I'll come back. Okay, without thinking, I locked my computer, so hopefully it is still recording. But it says exporting final lesson. Audio lesson generated successfully. So let's see here. Cache. Gen audio. Output. Audio lesson. So let's download this. I did not mean to double click that.
Here's how you say maybe in French. Listen and repeat.
Okay, so let's see here.
Here is how you say maybe in French. Listen and repeat. Peut-être.
Peut-être.
Now you'll learn how to say not. Listen carefully, then repeat. Pas.
Pas.
Let's learn the French expression for to. Listen and then say it. Trop.
Trop.
Pay attention to how bad is pronounced in French. Listen, then try it yourself. Mauvais.
Mauvais. Okay.
Now I'll introduce the French term for not to. Listen to how it's said. Loin de la maison, j'ai pensé à toi.
All right, cool. I think that worked. So I guess I'll pass it along. I'll make it available in the doobly-doo. All right, see ya.